Good evening everyone and welcome to Sugar and Crumbs. My name's Tracey Mann from Tracey Mann Cakes, and this evening I'm going to be having a go at a butterfly wave cake. So I have actually done one of these live before, but it was several months ago, so I think it will be fine. I'm not too worried about it, but nice to do a slightly different colour, so that's what I'm aiming to do on this particular live. Now last week I did do a butterfly cake which I did with some sugar paste which looked like bandages, and everybody panicked and thought I was doing something horrendous. It turned out okay, so that's fine. So this is going to be done differently. So it's still a butterfly cake. We're going to use some slightly different butterfly ideas, and we're going to be using royal icing, which we're going to make with whipping it up. So I'm going to be showing you how to do that, and I'm going to show you how to put the whole cake together. So hopefully it should be okay. I'm not alone. Kelly is back. Say hello, Kelly.
Hi.
She's eating her tea at the moment on one side of the room, so if you can hear any munching going on over there,
I'm eating carrots.
it's Kelly eating carrots. So not chocolate, she's eating carrots. So if you do hear anything, that's Kelly. Let's take this down. So I'm going to be live this week at 6:30. So I'm here now. We will be finished before the football starts. So if anybody's wanting to watch the football, then we will be done before then. And then I will be back on Thursday morning at 11:30, where I'm going to be doing wedding cake cookies. So that's Thursday mornings live at 11:30. I've already done a few online, but I've got about 9 or 10 designs to do, so I'm going to be doing those on Wednesday. Thank you, Doe, for that. I did put up a picture of a very big wedding cake on the cake community page and on my Instagram this week. So I was live on Saturday panicking about doing this wedding cake. Not the wedding cake itself, because the wedding cake was finished, but getting the wedding cake from A to B. So you know what that's like if anyone does wedding cakes, and this cake was vast. So if anybody hasn't seen it, then do have a look at cake community page, or go onto my Instagram. I'll put my Instagram up quickly. Go and have a look on there, because this cake was huge, and it did go in several pieces, but it was heavy and stressful, and I did talk about it quite a lot. So if you do want to go and have a look at that wedding cake, then do pop over there and have a look. So I'm live tonight. I'm live on Thursday at 11:30. And then I'm on a holiday for a week, so I know. So if anybody follows me on Saturday mornings, I won't be here on Saturday morning. I won't be here Tuesday next week, and I won't be here Thursday next week. So don't forget, you've got to enjoy it this week. Kelly's running it, aren't you? You want to do the lives then? She's gone quiet now. Yeah, that's a no. Yeah, Kelly's in charge next week, everybody. Yeah, that should be interesting. Yeah, Kelly's in charge. If anybody's ordering anything from me next week, over to you, Kelly. You'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. I might leave you some things to do, actually. Now my little brain's ticking, I'll find you some things to do.
I'm on my last carrot.
You're on your last carrot. She's still eating her tea at the moment. We can hear her over there. So, but yeah, so we're going to have a go at doing a butterfly wave cake tonight. Now, you've seen these, I'm sure, on all sorts of really lovely pictures on various cake sites. We're just going to have a go. As I say, I have done this once before live for the first time. What was I thinking? But I have. So I'm going to be doing that shortly, and we'll go from there, won't we? If we get a bit of extra time, we might do something else, but we'll see how we go, because I don't think once we get going with this, it actually doesn't take very long. And that is another thing as well with this particular design that we're doing tonight. If you want to do a really quick and easy and simple cake, then this one you can do very, very quickly, and it looks really pretty very quickly.
Loving your cake.
Loving my cake. Believe you me, I was loving it when it was delivered. I loved it more when it was actually there at the venue, I can assure you. I wasn't loving it when I was going over the ramps going up to the venue. You know, when you arrive at a venue, you think, oh my goodness. Well, Kelly and I went back to pick the stand up, didn't we, on Monday? And I said, Kelly, I went over every single one of these ramps with that massive wedding cake in the back. So yeah, slightly terrifying. I need insurance on my nerves for that sort of thing. That was the main issue, nothing else. The cake itself was fine. It's just getting it there from A to B. It just sort of, yeah, it makes you doubt yourself. But anyway, it was all fine. So Kelly is here.
Hello.
Have you finished your tea now?
Yeah, I'm eating sweeties now.
Okay, she's on the sweets now, but she is here. So yeah, I'm sure if you have any comments tonight, any questions, then do please let Kelly know. So we are doing a cake tonight. How big is this cake? And actually my camera's at a very silly angle, so I'm going to pull it back a little bit, otherwise no one's going to be able to see what on earth I'm doing. Just alter that camera there. Okay, so, oh no, I didn't press the right button then. Let's press the right button. So this is the cake that I've got ready for tonight. So this is, let's get my tape measure out. So this is a 6-inch cake by 6 inches, 6 by 6. That's nice and easy to remember, isn't it? Not too bad. I have done, let's put this lock on. I have ganached it already, so it's I think it was 4 layers of cake inside of there, and I've ganached it already, so it's all stable and ready to roll. So I've also glued it to a cake board, so it's not going to move around, because that's quite important if you're doing a cake like this. So I did, let's hope it's not moving anyway, because I didn't glue it that long ago. I only put down the royal icing about 2 hours ago. There we go. It's going to be fine. So we're going to do that. We're going to use whipping it up. We're going to use raspberry ripple whipping it up. Now I'm going to make up 2 bags, because I've got quite a lot to cover. I don't actually think I'll need 2 bags, but to be honest with you, it doesn't matter, because I'll use it for other things in the week. It's not a problem. So I'm going to get 2 big bags of this. So it's going to be 1 kilo of icing sugar. I should have done this in the food mixer actually, rather than the hand whisk. That's fine. No, it doesn't matter. I've weighed it all out now, so it's no problem. So this is a Sugar and Crumbs product, and it makes Swiss meringue buttercream, very nice. Mousse meringue, pavlova, shortbread, royal icing, and more. So royal icing. Look at me.
Don't look at me, I ain't done nothing.
Royal icing is my bag, so everybody knows I do lots and lots of royal icing, so that's what we're going to use it for. So 500 grams of whipping it up to 70 grams of water. So I've weighed up 140 grams of water, because I've got 2 bags of this stuff. So that's what we're going to do. Now we're not going to make that up just yet. We're going to make that up fresh and use it fresh. So we're going to put that to one side for the minute. And we're going to look at the butterflies that we're going to use first. So let me get those over, because I've left them over there. We'll get Kelly cutting in a minute. So I have got a new sheet out. Of course I have, because I love these so much. So these are the butterflies we're going to be using tonight. They are wafer paper butterflies. Now, for those of you that follow me already, you'll know already that I've got loads of this kind of stuff on my website. I love it. It's brilliant. This is a blue one that's cut out onto wafer paper. So all you do, you end up with 15 on a sheet of this particular one, and all you literally do is just cut them out. It's very simple. Now, the reason I'm using wafer paper is because they stand really easily and really quickly. Now, I'm just going to say a few things, the difference between buttercream and royal icing while I'm doing this. While I'm doing this, you can ask your questions, because I'm going to cut a few out. So I'm doing my cake with royal icing tonight. The reason I'm doing it with royal icing is because if you do it with buttercream and then you add wafer paper, you can find some of the grease in the buttercream can affect the wafer paper. So if you do it with buttercream, ideally you want to let the buttercream sort of crust a bit before you then add your butterflies. I'm doing this with royal icing, which means I should be able to stick my butterflies on pretty much straight away. Because it's not oil based, it behaves differently to buttercream, which is obviously oil based and can get quite sort of greasy and absorbent. So all I'm doing is just taking my sheet, I've got my wafer paper here, and I'm just going round and cutting out some of the butterflies. So it's nice and easy, very straightforward. Now I've got lots of butterflies on my website. I've got realistic butterflies. Now by realistic butterflies, I mean ones that are actual butterflies themselves. So things like Red Admiral, oh gosh, I can't think of their names now, I've gone blank, tortoiseshell, swallowtail. Are you impressed, Kelly?
A yellow one, a blue
cabbage
one,
white. I know.
a brown one, one that's got red and blue bits on it.
All right, okay. So clearly I spent a lot of time living in the countryside when I was little with no access to any internet or anything, Kelly. So I know more about...
I used to grow butterflies. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we had that good butterfly net.
Has anyone ever grown butterflies? Because that is pure excitement.
Yeah, we had I don't know if you can still get those things. They were butterfly...
They're probably too cruel.
Butterfly nets or something, weren't
Google
they?
It.
They came with caterpillars. They were really good, actually. Anyway, clearly I know more about my butterfly names than Kelly. So, yeah, there's one called Realistic Butterflies. They're a bit bigger than these.
You can still buy them.
You'll probably get yourself one, knowing you. Now, where's my tape measure gone? What did I do with it?
You did have it.
I had it a second.
You threw it on the table.
There we go. No, it isn't. I've got it. Right, so these butterflies here, just to give you an idea, are 1.5 inches across that way, or if I turn it that way, it's 4.5 centimetres by, at the highest point there, about 3.5 centimetres or 1.25 inches. So that's the size that these particular ones are. Now you see, once they're on a sheet and they're flat, the minute you cut them and bend them, they immediately stand, and I love that. That is exactly what I want them to do. I don't want to be messing about drying and mucking about with things, but we're going to have to cut these out first. So I'm going to carry on cutting these out and talking at the same time. So on the website we've got these new ones which are called, I think I've just called them
blue butterflies. Blue
butterflies. On last week's Sugar and Crumbs I used the ones called pink butterflies. They were pink and black. And then I've also done this particular cake with another set of butterflies we've got called pastel butterflies. Now they're actually sat next to me, so I'll show you those in a second. And we've got those in 2 different sizes. We've got mini and large, and they are lovely as well. Now with something like this, if you end up buying these, all you need to do is literally just keep them in an envelope, as long as you keep them sealed, because wafer paper has this nasty habit of picking up smell. And so it can go off. Sprinkles are the same. Don't leave your sprinkles without their lids on or anything like that, because they do pick up smell. So what you want to do is just make sure you keep everything sealed. And then every time you need a butterfly for a cake, even if it's like one butterfly, you can just get your wafer paper out, cut one out and pop it on. And it's all edible, so you don't have to worry about anything. And they are literally instant. So I love these. I'm always putting them on my cakes. And one of the things I do on Sugar and Crumbs is show you all the little moulds and all the things that I use on my own cakes over the years. And I've been doing cakes now for some horrendous amount of time. Oh, goodness me, 35 plus years. So it's amazing when you think about it. I've got so many cutters, unbelievable, but I tend to go back to using the same thing all the time. And that's why I keep pointing all these things out, because it's getting the best value out of everything. So a little sheet of butterflies, perfect, works really well. You only sometimes, if you only need one butterfly for a cake, it's just quite nice to have a sheet of them. Now I know these are all the same colour, but then that was done deliberately because of this cake here, so that we could get kind of a same effect. There you go. So they don't take long to cut out. I'm going to cut a few more out. I'll show you the pastel ones while I'm busy doing this. So these are the pastel ones here. So they're slightly different. So there's a mini version. Let's turn that round. There's a mini version there and a large version there. Can you see that okay, Kel? Just about.
I'm 10 seconds behind.
10 seconds behind. So it's sort of a pale blue and pink, and then a pale pink and yellow. Now I've used these loads on, again, some of my other cakes, and if you're sort of thinking, well, yeah, like what, then nip over to my YouTube channel, and again, if you just kind of scroll through, if I've used them on a cake, you should see them on the opening screen, and then you should be able to see what I've done with them. So I've done all sorts of bits and pieces with these butterflies, because I just think they're so nice. And at this time of year, while we're doing summer, I've done the ice cream stuff, so we're moving on to butterflies now. We'll keep moving across all the different things. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So while it's sort of themed up, we'll do this. And then, as I say, we're doing wedding cake cookies on Thursday morning. And don't forget as well, if you miss any of the lives, that's my lives, Carol's lives, Karen's lives, anybody else's lives, you can always watch them on catch up. You can watch them on YouTube. You'll always find them on there, so you won't miss out. Now, if you are going to do this particular cake that I'm doing at the moment, you will need to do this cutting out bit first, because once that royal icing is on, you're literally going to be throwing everything straight on the cake before it sets.
I can't believe how easily you're cutting those things out using giant scissors.
I know. Well, I couldn't find the small scissors, but that's okay, because they're fine, and it's a bit quicker then, you see. It's okay. Who said that? Maureen. I know, world's biggest scissors. You can always guarantee every time Kelly and I go live, we can't find certain things. Scribers, scissors, what else are we normally missing?
Oh, side scrapers.
Side scrapers, we couldn't find that before we came live. That's why we were a few minutes late. I said I wouldn't mention it tonight because I've realised on most of my lives I start off by going, sorry we're late everyone, and there's a reason. Tonight's reason was we couldn't find the scrapers. And I thought it'd be better for us to do the rummaging off the live rather than on the live. But anyway, we found them, didn't we? So we were just being ultra tidy. Right, a couple more. So what I will have cut out is, how many have I done there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that leaves me 6. So there you go. Now my cake's quite big. You don't need to do a cake as big as this. You can do this cake any size you want really. But if you want this kind of wave effect, it's probably better to do it on a slightly taller cake. So don't do it on a sort of standard sponge. You need to do it with perhaps 2 sponges on top of each other to give yourself a little bit of height. So that, because the wave effects are mainly on the side of the cake, not on anything else. So if you want to get that effect, then you are going to need to do that on the side. How are we doing? Okay, yeah, they're nice. Now the only other thing with this as well, don't forget these are printed edible sheets. So you can eat them, that's all fine. You get any water on them and it will whip the colour off because it's food colouring.
No, if it's wafer paper, it just dissolve.
Well, it will dissolve, but
turn into goo.
It will turn into goo. But if I put my finger in there and touch that, so if I put my finger in the water and then put that straight on there, it will just take the paint straight off. So, and Kelly's also right, these are wafer paper. But any of the kind of sugar paste sheets as well, you'll find that they will automatically disintegrate. So just be really careful around water with this. All right, that's the only thing you need to watch out. Believe you me, once you've done it a few times, you won't keep doing it because it's just a waste. It's annoying. Even though I still do it now. Amazingly enough, my hands are not multicoloured today, even though I've had a little wrestle with my edible printer. Actually, I've come off okay today. Normally I'm on the live with like green hands and all sorts. So, right. Okay, so this is the last one. I'll get that ready. Now we're going to use some sprinkles as well. Of course we are. The supply of the sprinkles is completely all over the place at the moment. I think we've set off a little run on certain sprinkles. So the white little sprinkles, they're
called like pearls.
They're called nonpareils or something, aren't they? I don't know what they're called.
I always read it as purple and I'm like, what purple sprinkles?
No, I'll get them in a second. Let's move these out of the way. Right, let's put the rubbish out the way. Okay, so we have got these, which we've been using. We used these last week as well. I think the reason you said they're called purple, Kelly, is because they're made by Purple Cupcakes. That's what it is. I'm going to put the lid on before I turn this over. There you go, like that. You can see those. So we have got some of these, but again, they're proving very difficult to restock, which is quite annoying. And then I think we're probably going to be throwing some silver balls at this as well, because blue, white and silver, we're going to actually do the cake colour mint green. Is that what we decided?
Pale green. Not
pale
mint.
green.
This is...
Yeah,
it's inspired by my drink.
Inspired by Kelly's drink from the bubble tea shop, because that's where she's just come from. So that's the colour we're going to go for with the actual cake itself. So we've got a sort of, oh, we're not calling it mint green. What colour are we calling that then?
Pastel.
Pastel green with blue and white. So hopefully it should all go okay, according to plan anyway. I'm sure it'll be fine. Right, let's put that in the bin. We've got everything ready. So back on screen for a moment. Let's move that out of the way. So you have to have all the bits ready for this before you start doing this cake, because kind of once it's all on there, it's go, 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 go. It's a little bit like that. It's like sometimes when you do chocolate work, especially like chocolate transfer sheets and stuff, because if you're not ready with everything, all your cakes and everything prepped and ready, then you're going to have some difficulties because then you realise you're not ready and everything's drying. All my students that used to come in for chocolate, I'd be going, come on, hurry up. And I'd say, I'm not having a go at you. It's the chocolate setting. You need to be as fast as you can. Pistachio. Well, the colour we're going to use actually is
leaf green.
Leaf green. It's Colour Splash Leaf, not pistachio. So that's why I quickly point that out. And actually, that is one of my favourite colours. It's a really, really nice colour, this one. And I do this for all my leaves on my cupcake bouquets. If anybody's seen those on my Instagram. It's a really nice colour, and even very dark, it's really nice, and even very pale, it's very nice. So it's an interesting one, this one. So yeah, I'll definitely put one of those in your bag if you want. The one that we looked at earlier, we didn't like very much, was
Mint
it?
green.
Was that the Pro Gel? What was that called? Yeah, we didn't like this one. We felt this one didn't really go with what we were trying to do, which is the Rainbow Dust Mint Green. So maybe not that one. Maybe go for that one instead. It's a bit more natural looking, I think, that one. This one was a little bit sort of fake looking. So we're going for that one. That is the reason why. We do these things for a reason, you know. We're all making it up, but we are trying to. Right, okay, I'm going to move this camera up, and I'll tell you why, because that is my phone, and what will happen is I will have buckets of icing sugar in there shortly, and then my phone won't work. Right, there we go. Let's pull that over there. So we're going to put this in, this is whipping it up, Raspberry Ripple. There we go. Actually, I might just do one lot first to see how it goes, Kelly. Those scales over there. Let's see how much one lot generates first, and then we don't end up with it absolutely everywhere. Okay, so
you're getting it everywhere.
I'm getting it everywhere.
Which is suddenly a cloud.
I know. So 70 grams of water. It should be half of this. Come on. There we go. All right, let's take that out of the way. And let's bring that in. Let's put that over there so I don't get muddled up. Let's see how much that generates. So pop that in. So I'm going to use my electric beaters, but in order to sort of avoid the whole cloud thing, I'm just going to use a palette knife just to kind of mix this in a little bit. You don't need to do this if you're at home. You can just pop on your food mixer, but just in some sort of rough attempt to stop my icing sugar destroying my phone, I'm just going to mix this for a second and just boil some of the icing sugar down. It's starting to go in already. You can see it coming through. But what we're going to do, we're going to beat this with my electric whisk. And what that's going to do, it will make the egg white mix with the icing sugar, and then it will start to peak. And that's what we're after. I think we will need a bit more. We'll make it up as we go. Right, have I actually plugged this thing in? I have, that's pretty amazing. Okay. So I'll stop for a minute when you first do whipping it up. If you've mixed it all at that point and then gone, okay, that's it. It's not by any stretch of the imagination, because it's still got this glassy look about it. So you need to take it a few more steps further until it gets to the point where it's gone white and it's peaking. So we'll keep going. So if you have a look at that now, you can see it's starting to change. Now, looking at this, I'm going to guess we are going to need this other bag. So what we'll do now we've got that in, we'll add the second bag, because then I won't end up with it absolutely everywhere. So let's pop in the next one. There we go, and the rest of the water. And that should be fine. Okay, pop that in. There we go. Now I'm hoping the stuff at the bottom will pick this up. Might have a few clouds. It should be okay. There we go, that's not too bad. So this is 2 bags of whipping it up. So I don't think we'll need all 2, but we'll do it anyway for now. It's got to be fairly thick when it goes on. Now what I found with whipping it up is that the following day with whipping it up, when you make it, it is very white. But the following day sometimes it does change colour, and you find it goes to a more yellowy colour. So if you want to have, if you want it to maintain its white, then you will need to add some white powder into it, something like Sugar Flare White. You could try this product. I've not actually tried it yet to see if it works, which is called Ingenious Edibles, which is an icing and white frosting whitener. That may work. You don't need very much, but it should be enough to keep it white, because it will look white until it sets, okay? Yeah, I'm happy with that now. It's much more what I had in mind. Right, let's turn that up a bit. You can smell it. Can you smell it, Kelly?
Oh yeah.
The whole room is smelling of raspberry ripple, whipping it up. Right, we'll give this a little bit more and then we'll be there. I want to make sure it's all done. Sort of semi-mesmerising watching this come together, you know. Okay, right, let's put that down. Now, whipping it up itself, couple of things with whipping it up. Number one, as I say, when you first make it, it's white. It does dry cream, so you might need to add in some of the Ingenious Edibles whitener, stick that in, or some powder. The other thing as well with it is that you can store it. Now, I normally store my Royal Icing in a container like this. So it's a plastic container. It's actually got two sections in it. There's no reason why, it just happens to have two sections in it. So I would put my Royal Icing in there and put my plastic lid on, and I would leave this at room temperature. And then I wouldn't store it in the fridge, but it can be stored up for up to a good couple of weeks. Now, what you might find with whipping it up is when you go back to it, it's got a kind of glassy appeal or glassy look on it. So what you would need to do in order to get it back to what it was when you first made it is you can beat it, but then you might need to add a couple of extra tablespoons of icing sugar to lift it, because I found that with the whipping it up, if you beat it the following day, yes, it comes back to life, but sometimes it collapses and it just needs a couple of extra tablespoons of any icing sugar. It doesn't matter. So if you don't need to have more whipping it up. You can just use any plain icing sugar just to bring it back again. That's only if you're doing it the following day. So just bear that in mind if you are using whipping it up the following day. But I use it, make it, store it, and then I reactivate it that way. That's kind of how I do it. Right, so we're going to do some white in here, I think, and some green. So we will split this into a couple of bowls, or a bowl. Put this one in for now. So what we'll do is we'll take some of this out, pop some of the white in there. Do we do all mint green, Kelly, or are we going to do, or do we do put patches of white in there? Do you want to do it all mint green?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, what I'll do then is I'll just take that out and we'll keep the rest. Okay, we'll just dye that big one then, keep that one to one side. And we'll dye this one instead. There we go. Right, I'm just going to put a piece of damp kitchen roll over my spare icing so it doesn't go off while I'm doing that, because you don't want to leave it out. So we've got that there. Where's my green? Here it is. Let's get rid of this whipping it up bag. Right, okay, so leaf green, that's what we're going to use, so I'll pop that in next. And let's just do less is more. She says, no, my luck, it will just fly out. Let's put in just a little bit at the moment, not too much, and let's see how we get on. I could do with a scraper, actually. Let me just see if I can find one. I bought a selection of pink ones. There we go. I haven't taken the label off yet. Let's do that now. Okay. Give it a quick wash. There we go. Right. Okay. So just take that off the edges there, because what we don't want to do is this to go all crusty and horrid. We want to try and keep this all together. Right, let's mix that and see what that turns out like. See if we need to add any more. We can make some decisions as we go along. So I think we're going to need to add a bit more. It's a bit pale at the moment. If you're going to change whipping it up to a colour, then you don't need to add the white. If you want to keep it white, then you will need to add a little bit of whitener to it. Let's put a bit more in. I'd rather creep towards what I want than make it the wrong colour, because otherwise it's a nightmare to undo. Let's have a look at our butterflies and see what they look like against that colour. So there we go. I think we're still a bit pale at the moment. Yeah, so let's put some more in. Let's keep going. A bit more green. There we go. It's actually taking quite a lot of icing because there's, sorry, a lot of colour because there's quite a bit of icing in there. So we'll just add a bit more. Nearly there. As I say, it's easier to creep towards the colour than just whack a load in and hope for the best. Check with my colour consultant Kelly. Slightly darker still.
Yeah.
Still not quite there. Okay, we'll get there. Oh God, I put too much in now. Okay. It's me going, oh, let's just creep towards the colour.
Extreme to another.
It's going to be fine. It's fine. Right, let's just scrape the sides down. Make sure we've got it all. You can see if I turn that underneath there, it's still quite white. So we'll give that a bit more of a mix. Right, we're going to call it quits at that, and we're going to start working on this cake straight away because we don't want this to dry out. Okay, still a bit white at the bottom. It's amazing when you turn it over what you can find, but actually a bit of colour contrast should be fine. I'm okay with that. Right, 2 palette knives. You need a cranked palette knife, which is one of these ones, and you need a flat one as well. So you need 2 different palette knives. Oh, I've got my taller one, but that one's okay. Right, let's get it onto this camera. So we're going to work relatively quickly, so don't blink because it might happen very quickly. I'm going to just turn my camera back again for a second so I can give you the best angle I can. If I adjust the camera when you're on it, you're feeling like you're on a boat. Okay, so I'm going to sit down to do this. Let's get started. So we're going to coat this cake very quickly. We're going to straighten the cake and then we're going to put the wave on. So it's all going to happen within a flash. So I'm going to take the icing and I'm literally going to start on the top and just smooth some on. Now royal icing does dry fairly quickly, so you do need to work quickly. So there's no mucking around with this. Okay. Now, I'm not aiming to get the top flat. In fact, if anything, I'm going to kind of do a little sort of circly bit on there. So I can just put my kind of palette knife on there and spin it round if I want to, just to get a bit of a pattern going on, if that's what I want to do. Doesn't really matter. In fact, I'm going to do that again because I've got it on a funny angle. In fact, I'm going to come back to that bit. I'll tell you why, because I want to do the sides quickly before it sets. Right, let's take this. I'm going to put this on fairly thickly. Okay, so this is onto a ganached cake and it is royal icing. Now my board is actually a, now what is it? It's an acrylic board actually. So if you've got the masonite boards, that works really well with this because then you're not damaging your sugar paste at the bottom. If you're doing it on a silver board, that's fine. It just doesn't look as nice. So there's a celestial masonite board or one of the marble ones. It would look really nice on either of those. The lines are going to set hard, yes. Not rock hard, but certainly hard. Boards, I don't know. So yeah, you want to try to do it, and you want to make sure your cake is attached as well. So that's why I stuck it down earlier today, to make sure it's not moving while I'm trying to do this, because otherwise it's very difficult. Let's get a bit more on my... If anyone's thinking, wow, she's putting on a lot of icing, I am putting on a lot of icing, yes. I've still got plenty left though, so I've kind of over egged it a little bit, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. So I'd say if you were going to do this, you probably just need one bag. Okay, right, now once it's on, you want to go to your tool scraper and you want to scrape it as fast as you can, just to get it straight. The annoyance of this is it's moving on the little turntable here. Now I'm going to go back and I'm just going to infill a couple of holes where I want it to be a little bit thicker.
It looks like it should be like lime flavoured or something.
Yeah, it's raspberry ripple. We've done it green. Okay, right, round we go again. I've got a hole up there I need to deal with. So royal icing, remember what we're doing here. This is royal icing, it's not buttercream. A bit down the bottom there, just don't want to scrape it all off. And it's going up to the top as well. Last scrape. I'm getting lighter and lighter with my scraping as I go further round, because every time I go round it, what I don't want to be doing is like whipping off more and more of the icing, and it doesn't need to be flat. Can you see? This is rough, and rough is fine with this technique. So don't start sort of spending hours and hours trying to get it flat, because it's just not worth it. But you just need to make sure you've got plenty of icing on. And I spotted something else a minute ago and I've lost it now. So no, there it is, a little hole there. Okay. Kelly's going to answer your questions at the moment because I'm not looking at the screen. I am looking solely at this at the moment.
75 to 1.
70. Okay, and then we're just going to neaten up the top a little bit. So remember, we're not trying to get this perfect, we're just trying to get it covered. Okay, right, we're done. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a smaller plastic side scraper. Let's move that out of the way. My hands are covered in royal icing. Let me just get rid of that because it's just going to be horrible otherwise.
It won't go completely hard, will it?
It will set pretty hard, yeah.
Oh, but not completely.
Yeah, it will go pretty hard.
But if you don't want it to go hard, you can add glycerin.
Yeah, clever girl.
Add a bit of glycerin.
Right, we're going to take hold of one of these, so a plastic side scraper here, and we're going to go up and down. We're going to tip it on its side, so it's going in a little bit like that, and we're going to go up the cake. Okay, so off we go. So we are going to go round first, and then we're going to start going up. I'm not saying a word at the moment, please note. Okay, how are we doing? I'm going to just take that off for a minute while I stop. I think we've made it. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's one of those wave cakes. Now, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take my palette knife. I'm just going to do that top bit. And then we're going to start decorating it very quickly while it's still soft. So I'm going to just put my palette knife in the middle and I'm just going to very carefully spin it just so I get a bit of a sort of circle going on in the middle. It actually doesn't really matter that much, but I would like to have it a little bit more kind of in keeping with the rest of the cake. There we go. So when I did that, I just put the scraper in at an angle, okay? Then the next thing I'm going to do is just clean this.
Can you do this with buttercream?
Yes. You can do it with buttercream, but what I'm saying to you is the wafer paper butterflies will be affected by the buttercream. You have to let the buttercream set. Okay, let's just get this off the bottom. There we go.
Are you just putting one end of the scraper to the cake?
Yes, just the corner. There's my scraper. That's how much I've used, okay? And then I'm going to take my butterflies and I'm going to very carefully bend them back. And I'm going to position them onto my cake. Just bend it like that. This is why you need to do these in advance so that they're dry. Okay. Like that. So I'll put those in there. Okay, and there's a little gap there. So if there's anything you want to cover, then you can quickly put one on there, can't you? I'm actually going to cut out a couple more very quickly. Or I might get Kelly to cut out. Kelly, can you cut out a couple more? There you go. I want some for the top. Okay, all right, so that's that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take those pearls and we're going to throw them at the cake, literally. And that, hopefully they will stick. So we're going to take hold of these. Let's see if we can do this like that. They're going to go everywhere, but actually that's okay. It doesn't matter. Now you see the Royal Ice.
You could get the biggest silver balls.
Yeah, we're going to do those in a minute. We're going to do this bit first.
Oh my god, no.
I know, they're going everywhere. It's fun, isn't it? Okay, so the more the Royal Icing sets, or we're around the other side already, the slower, the faster the Royal Icing sets, the less it's going to set the balls. You've got to be quick. Okay, and now we're going to put some silver balls on. Right. We've got the big ones or just the little ones?
I think we really have those.
I think we've got one there. No, we've got some big ones here. Now, because I get fussy in my old age, I'm going to... Thank you.
Very delicate.
Put that one there. Like so. Right, we're going to put some of these on. I'm not going to throw these at the cake. The only reason I threw the other ones is because they're difficult to position without throwing them.
Swiss meringue buttercream.
No.
So I would write this out, but I'm cutting things out.
No, this isn't buttercream, Kelly. This is Royal Icing.
Swiss meringue something.
No, it's not.
What?
This is Royal Icing.
Oh. Sorry, I think I've lost it.
Kelly's lost the
Oh
plot.
no, it is perfect mix for Swiss meringue buttercream.
Yeah, but I haven't done it in Swiss meringue buttercream. I've done it in Royal Icing.
Sorry everyone, it's been a long day for me. It's just Royal Icing.
Oh, I'm chucking them everywhere now. It's Royal Icing.
Sorry.
Okay, and then we'll pop those on. Where have you put another one? Did I see another butterfly?
Yeah, I think I just broke it though.
Where have you put it?
Oh, I'm holding it.
Oh,
yeah, I've broken it.
but can I pin it back together or not?
Probably not. I'm trying.
Now we've got some of these pastel coloured balls as well, which are proving to be difficult to keep in stock. We have got some which we can put on as well. So this is where if you've got lots of sprinkles, you can have quite a lot of fun with this. Okay, sprinkles, there we go. So these have actually got silver balls mixed in them as well, because that's what we did earlier today by accident. So these ones here, these again are called sorbet bubbles. These ones, again, lots of different colours. Okay. Oh, lovely. Here comes my other butterfly. Thank you very much. All right. And we'll put that just about, Kelly. That one's hanging off by a thread.
All right.
There we go. Put that one there. Again, just put a few more balls on there. Just to brighten it up. Right. So you've got some different coloured ones here. Kelly, what would you recommend for your colour scheme?
The yellow and the white ones.
The yellow ones.
And the white ones.
I thought the white ones, definitely. So they've got little white ones in here as well. So let's have those in. Actually, they might look better around the bottom. Let's put those around the bottom. Whoops. A bit too big to go further up on the cake, I think. So if you end up with any little gaps on this cake, you can always literally just stick the butterfly on wherever it is that you want. You can definitely put glycerin in this cake. So if you find that it's setting really hard, then definitely put glycerin in. Actually, I don't think I want those white balls on there, prefer them without. So yeah, you can put glycerin in this and that will stop it doing that. I prefer it without. I think otherwise you're going to get overkill on this. This is quite a simple cake. You really don't need to make this particularly complicated. Let me just push these silver balls in back towards the cake. And honestly, that is literally it. It's really, really easy. It's not difficult at all. So this was a vanilla sponge, which I covered with ganache. So you can put royal icing on top of ganache. That's absolutely fine. There's no reason why you can't do that. You can also spray it when you're done with, where's that finishing sparkle? Because that's quite nice.
It's on your desk somewhere.
I know. Let's see if we can find it.
Is it in here?
It's got to be on that side. Finishing sparkle. No, I'll put it away somewhere. Shouldn't let me tidy up, Kelly, because then I'd move things. Okay, so you can put glitters on it of some description when you can actually find them, including the Wonder Dusts as well would look really nice, but you can sort of bring a bit of sparkle on it as well. You can also put on lots of different colour butterflies. As I say, you don't have to use the colour that we've used tonight. Let me put that back there a little bit so you can see it. Now, I appreciate this is a very, very quick cake, so I'm going to do another little mini demo in a minute and just show you how to make some little footballs. If anybody's doing football cakes tomorrow night, I'm going to show you a really neat trick for making a quick football. So don't disappear if you think that's it. I have finished my cake and I just again want to show you just how quick that is to make. Now when this sets, it will set hard, but it won't set rock hard. I mean, it will set fairly hard. If you put glycerin in it, then you won't have the problem of worrying about anybody sort of cracking their teeth or anything along those lines. You could also just put in, if you wanted to mix your colours up, you could put some white patches in as well. You don't just have to do this green colour. So if you wanted to do some white here and then some green and then mix it all up like that, you could do that. You can change your colour of your butterflies. The wafer paper ones on the royal icing won't collapse, but if you do wafer paper on buttercream, the chances are they will collapse. So if anybody tries this and says, Tracy, it didn't work, the reason will be is because there is oil in the buttercream, okay? So just bear that in mind when you do it. But look how quick and easy that is to put together. It's a really, really quick cake to do. So if you get caught short and somebody says, oh, can you make me a cake? Literally, that's a cake, bit of royal icing, round you go, up and down with the wave, and you've got an instant cake. Very, very quick to do. Right. Let's come back on screen for a second. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to move a few bits and pieces around, and I'm just going to show you a really quick demo on how to make an instant football. And then once I've done that, we'll show you the cake again, and then you'll all be ready to watch the football, which I think is on tonight. Well, it's not England, is it? It's Italy. Well, you won't know, Kelly, will you? Because you've been out all day.
I don't care. How much glycerin would you normally put?
Right, 1 teaspoon of glycerin for the whole bag. So not a lot. Don't need loads and loads of glycerin. Just wash my hands because they're stuck to everything. So yeah, you don't need a lot of glycerin. It's just a really, really quick cake to do. It's not difficult and it's very, very effective. But I've got to clear up a tiny bit because otherwise I'm not going to be able to show you anything because I've got a mess absolutely everywhere. So bear with me a second. Okay, so I'll come up, keep disappearing and reappearing with a cloth. Could the butterflies be fondant and then put on buttercream? Yeah, you can do that.
But you don't need to.
If you do...
I said you don't need to because then they won't stand.
What's that, on fondant?
If you back them, they're going to be heavier.
They are heavier. I'll tell you what would work better is modelling paste. So you leave them to dry overnight in that position, but the wafer paper ones are so nice. But if you want to do it on
delicate,
they're more delicate. If you want to do it on buttercream, you can, but what you need to do is you need to let that buttercream set. So crust, it's never going to set rock hard like royal icing, is let it crust and then attach your butterflies with a little bit of royal icing. So don't attach butterflies with wet buttercream because it will go straight into the butterflies, they'll collapse. So don't do that, okay? Right, I'm just having a mini clear up here. Purely because my entire desk is now covered in green buttercream. Let's move this out of the way. Right, and we're going to be having pearls everywhere,
Italy
Kelly.
versus Spain tonight.
Italy versus Spain, is it right? Let's move that out of the way. Right, I'm just wiping the table down. Hold on 2 seconds. There. And then I'm going to show you how to make a little football. Now I've actually done this on a live once before, but it was actually quite a long time ago. It was back in February, and I just thought if anybody wanted to make some little cakes for work tomorrow, or maybe even when England gets to the final, then you can have a little go, can't you? So I'm going to show you this trick, and then, well, let's hope it works. It normally works, so it should be fine. Right, okay. So get the green board out, just give this a wipe down. And we'll do this. So this is a really easy thing to do. Some of you have seen me do it before. So we've got a bonus bit tonight. You've had the cake, you've had an instant cake, and now you've got a football coming up. So there you go. Plenty to watch tonight. Right, let's put this down a bit lower so you can see it this time. Turn that around that way. Get it lined up on my camera. There we go. All right. Let's make a football. So I'm going to show you how to make a football with no cutters. So it's nice and easy, very straightforward. So if you fancy making any of these tomorrow to celebrate the football, then all you're going to need is a little bit of white sugar paste and a little bit of black sugar paste, and that's it. That's all you're going to need. It's very easy, very straightforward, okay? So I'm going to just take some of the white and I'm just going to roll that into a ball to start with. So I have done this live before and it worked. So if it goes wrong, I'm going to point you in the direction of what worked. There we go. So there it is. There's my ball there. And then I'm just going to take some of these and I'm just going to roll them into equal sized little pea size balls. Okay, maybe a bit small on that one. So I tend to roll them in pairs because then I'm not far off getting them equal then. So 2 at a time. So take hold of them and then you soon start to get into the swing of it. Just take them like that. Round we go. No football for me. Yeah, I'm not keen either. I can't say I'm that keen. I'm not rushing back to watch it. Let's put it another way. All right. Okay, so again, we'll just take hold of this. So just making lots of little balls. They come out a bit bigger those, but it doesn't matter. So do 2 at a time because it's quicker. If you do 1 at a time, you'll be here forever. So do 2 at a time. And they should be able to feel the same when you're doing them. So if you don't want to watch the football tonight, I'm sure if you've just joined me, you can always go back and watch the live. Or if you want to go back and watch some of the other lives, there's plenty on here to see. We'll go over to YouTube and watch something on there. Right, I've got a couple of these that are a bit big, so let's just take that one out a little bit. Okay, a couple more. That should do it. Do the white ones first. No, there isn't a live tomorrow. I don't think there's a live on at all tomorrow. I think the next live is Thursday night.
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning? No, it's not me. Oh, no, it's me. Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, it's me on the next live on Thursday morning. That's no good, is it? Right, that should be enough.
Vicky says, can you carry on doing the live until the football?
Oh, I know. Right, okay, here we go. Right, so let's take some of these. Now we're going to do some of black ones of these. This is where we get in a muddle with my hands, so I might have to wash my hands after this. Okay, let's give this a little bit of a... Right, let's move that up a little bit. I know. It's all right if you like football, isn't it? We were singing the football songs, Kelly, weren't
No,
we? You weren't.
I think so.
Charlotte and I were. Only the pop songs. I know you don't like them, do you? Okay. Oh, somebody's had a go at this already, so they know this. I did this back in February. Now, the reason I know it was February is because it was for my godson's birthday, and I did a Watford football cake. And so I did this live then. Right, there we go. That should be enough, she says, hopefully. Right, let me just quickly wash my hands.
Maureen's watching Downton Abbey Returns.
Oh, lovely. Right, reruns. Kelly. Right, so you've got your ball like so, and all you're going to do is take hold of one of these and just press it down. And then you're going to take some white and you're just going to go 5 round each black like so. Okay, very simple. We're going to just turn it and pop that one there, and then we're going to put another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll turn it that way and put another one in there, and then we'll put another 2 in there to make 5. So every time you go round, you've got to have 5 white to 1 black. So let's turn it again. Put 1 in there. 1, 2. So can you see what I'm doing? I'm creating a pattern on here. Okay. Put that there. Then we go 1, 2. I don't know if I'm going to have enough. Oh, I might do. Right, another one there. 1, 2, 3, 4 already. So we're going to put just 1 there. Right, another one there. So 1, 2, 3. So we're going to put 4, 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So put 1 in there, squeeze it tighter, and pop that one at the bottom to make 5. Okay, put 1 in there. 1 there. Okay, put that one there. 1 at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, that one is a 5, so we're just going to squash that one up like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's come out a little bit big, so I'm just going to nip a little bit out the bottom there. Tiny bit distorted, but it's fine. We've got our 5 on. Okay, Haven't got to the clever bit yet. Right, there's our football at the moment. Here's the magic part. So we've got it like that, and then what I'm going to do is take it in my hand and I'm going to roll it. Magic. How about that? How about that? Do we like?
On a larger scale?
Yeah. Round you go. And all it does, it then all the shapes come together and it makes a football like that. How cool is that? It's a great little trick. So especially if you want to do it with kids, you cannot go wrong with this. It's so straightforward. And you end up then with all the lovely little shapes that are then correct around football. So it is a bit of magic, to be perfectly honest with you. Literally just roll it backwards and forwards like that. It's cool, isn't it? There you go. How about that? Do we like?
We do like it. It's impressive. It's a little tip.
It's cool, isn't it? It's just really easy. And if you make football cakes for anybody, they love it. Brilliant. I thought you might. If you're making any football cakes for anybody over the next 24 hours or even going into the future, this is a really, really simple, quick way to make a football. I mean, it could not be any more simple if you tried. It is literally black sugar paste, white dots, put it together. No way. I know. Isn't that amazing? That is it. You don't need any other fiddly cutters. You just need a few balls on there. No, I didn't put any glue on it or anything because it was all quite sort of tacky, and it comes together like that. We love. I thought you might. There you go. No one ever again will be cutting out little shapes and doing it like that. But yeah, you can make them as big or small as you want them to be. So just to prove a point, you can sort of make them whatever. Bear in mind that if you start off with a bigger piece of sugar paste, then obviously you are going to end up with a bigger ball, and therefore you would need to reduce the size of these as well. So you can make mini ones as well. So that sort of kind of cupcake topper size, that's okay that way. But if you wanted to make a much bigger one, I would use that on a cake as well. I think that's absolutely fine.
But with today's cake though.
But not with today's cake. No, I don't believe that footballs and butterflies go together very well. But if you wanted to do it on a smaller cake there or a smaller football, it is down to the size of the ball that you've got in the middle. Like so, and then obviously you would make these smaller. So if I just take these and half them, then you would just end up with a smaller version. And what happens is
not just a pretty face, old Tracey.
Who said that?
Nikki.
Nikki, eh? So if you just take these and half them, like so, you just start off with smaller ones. You find that the pattern builds itself, so you end up not having to sort of think, trying to work it out. Nothing ends up odd. It just literally fits together all by itself. So it's quite clever. So let's just do a little mini one just to prove a point, shall we? But you do need quite a lot of these. I should have counted them really, but I didn't. I just sat here and made them. But roll 2 at a time, much quicker. How large would you go? What do you mean with the rolling method? What, with this? So, I mean, you can make these as big as small as you like. I'm going to just do a mini one just so you know. And I'll get my tape measure out in a minute and then you'll see how small they are. Okay, then you'll be able to do a bit of a comparison. Have a go. I mean, honestly, it's really easy. It's really easy. So if you, and I tell you what as well, is you want to kind of, as I keep saying about my YouTube channel, go to my YouTube channel, you'll see the football cake on there and then you'll know it's on there. So if you ever lose track of this live and you don't, because it will be listed as the butterfly cake and you want to see the football, then have a look at YouTube and you'll see there's a Watford Football Club one on there and it's within that tutorial on there. I might even do a TikTok on this actually, that would be quite cool.
That would be very good.
Okay, I'm going to do a TikTok on this as well so that people can see it being done. Right, okay, let's do another one. Let's do a mini one this time. Right, let's try, I haven't got any more black on my hands. Right, so let's pick this up. Start with one of the black ones there. And then these are still quite big actually. Okay, let's see how we get on. We did half the size, so it should be okay. So, because it's all still quite tacky, they fit together. If they start to feel dry, then you're going to have a bit more of a problem. So we're putting them in groups of 5. Let's turn it. And just keep turning it as you go round and eventually you get to the bottom. And we'll turn it again. So keep counting and just kind of squish the ball around a bit if you need it to kind of fit a bit better. Another one there. But you need to work quickly, so don't sort of hang around to it because you need to get it stuck down as quick as you can. Right, there's another one there at the bottom. You're all going to be sat watching football now, making footballs. Okay, on there. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put another one in there. Nearly there. Another one at the bottom there. We got there, 1, 2, 3. Another one there. Should be another one there. There we go, and that's left 2 gaps at the bottom there. Look at that, magic. Oh, not that one because that's a big one. I want that one, and then that one there. So it should fit, okay? You shouldn't be ending up with anything sort of too odd. So even when it, actually no, those are right. So there you go. So that's what it looks like before you roll it. So even before you roll it, it looks quite cool, doesn't it? So there we go. Let's grab hold of this, and then we'll do the magic bit. So I'm literally just going to roll it. As in, can you do an 8-inch ball? I wouldn't do a whole cake in it, but there you go. There you go. Little mini one. Little mini football. So there you go. 2 side by side. Thank you, Kelly. So let's tell you how big they are so you can get an idea on measurements. Right, so this one here is literally 1 inch, and this one here is 1.5 inches. All right, so you can do them in any sizes, but when you do them, you just need to change the size of the ball. So just make them a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. So this one I'd say was a pea size, so that's the inch one. And don't forget, don't start the ball at the size of 1 inch because otherwise you're adding to it, so it's getting bigger. So if you don't want the ball to be too big, don't make that first ball too big, because otherwise when you've added the sugar paste on top, it gets bigger. So that's what you've got to think about when you're making it. So if you were doing a model, say if you're doing a model of someone playing football, that's probably your better size. If you're putting them on cupcakes, then that's probably your better size. And again, you can make them bigger and bigger, put them next to a sign, all sorts of different things. So it's nice and easy to do. Oh, there you go. Maureen's counted them for me. Oh, she's good. 20 white and 10 black. There you go, so that's what you need. But give it a go, and I can tell you now, it's really easy to do. It's very straightforward, and it's just a bit of fun more than anything else. And I thought, well, as it's football season, you might like to have a go, because you might be getting asked to do lots of football cakes, and this would speed matters up for you, wouldn't it? So there you go. That's my top tip of the evening. Have you learnt nothing tonight? You've learnt all about making footballs very quickly. Right, okay, so that's the end of the live this evening. Let me pick the cake up because we've forgotten all about the cake. We're so excited by the footballs now, we've forgotten about the cake. So there we go. So there's a nice butterfly wave cake for you, okay, which we did in leaf green colour. There we go. All right, so I will take a picture of that and put it on Instagram so you can see it. And then my little footballs. I could have a football in another hand, couldn't I? Like so. I'm actually off screen. Let me come back on. There you go. It's a double whammy, everybody. Footballs and butterflies. What a combo. Okay, there we go. Let's put that down before I drop it. I'll put that over there and we'll let that set overnight. So once you've done that butterfly cake, just kind of leave it to one side. Let it dry overnight and then move it to where you're taking it to the following day. So don't try and move it on the same day. Leave it to dry because the royal icing will be setting, and obviously it puts the waves can start dropping as you start traveling with it. So just leave it alone. Leave it where it is. So thank you very much for joining me. Now go all make footballs and then tell me how easy it is. I will be back on Thursday morning at 11:30 where we'll be doing wedding cake cookies. So Thursday morning's live with me. I am the next person, I believe, live at 11:30. So do please pop back. If you can't make it, you've gone back to work, whatever it is, don't forget you can catch up on all of these lives on YouTube and on Sugar and Crumbs themselves. So you can always go back and have a look. So take care, have a lovely evening, and I will see you on Thursday morning.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, Kelly. Bye.